live on Twitter, just live everywhere, bro. Let's see here.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about underdog stories and teams
yes.
for themselves. I'm sure this is
everybody. Hello. Hi. Hi. What's up, Exile? How are you?
As we head into future tournaments trying to requalify.
Okay, so we're in the grand finals. Sentinel versus Nemesis, which I'm excited for Nemesis because I feel like Nemesis clearly displayed way better drafting than expected, I think, at everyone. So that should be pretty solid. And then we also have the other brand as well. Let me get this right before I call it. Let me get this actually pulled up for you guys so you can see the full setup here. Where are we? Here it is. Okay, so we are currently at the end of the group stages to find out who's going to be playing in the playoffs, basically, for seeding. 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest will be the top side, and the bottom side is Sentinel versus Team Nemesis. Shroud X got dismantled by Nemesis, and FlyQuest outplayed Envy dramatically. Especially when it came to like flyers and shutting down their DPSs. In fact, DPS chokes seemed to be the theme of the day last night between Shroud X and Team Nemesis. Like, Shroud X could not adapt, and neither can Envy in their matches. So we'll see how today goes. I do think from the start of the tournament, 100 Thieves has been probably the better meta team in terms of understanding their macro awareness and where to put things in order to succeed. So we'll see how it goes today.
But yeah, diving back into this conversation, man, we've seen some teams now. We've had some conversations with coaches where you spoke about Nemesis.
I am really curious about the energy coming today from the casters. I've started to formulate an opinion on all the casters right now, and I think if I were to rate them, it would be Dogman number 1, Vivid Kitty number 2, Shib number 3, and then Cozy number 4, in terms of what I'm looking for out of a commentator / broadcaster. So we'll see how they do today. Today's a big day. They should like bring their A game today. So good evening, guys. Thanks for joining me. What's up, Xerix? How are you?
Best of 5 breakdown instead of the best of 3. Teams are going to be understanding and learning, and you're going to start seeing changes in the band.
Wow, to see Marvel's training numbers versus Valorant. To be fair, it just started and is grassroots. You download Street Fighter 6 again? My thumbs hurt. It's a good game. It's a good game.
Have to try to figure each other out in those early matches, and I think it could shake things up and lead us into a pretty decent matchup here, man.
Yeah, that's a good point, how 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest hasn't happened yet, and I think a lot of people expected Team Envy to beat FlyQuest, and it was the exact opposite that happened. You know,
I'm really upset.
People were saying FlyQuest was a top 3 team, and then we saw them drop down.
Well, let me listen to Dogman real quick.
Everybody was in shambles, and it sort of changed the trajectory of a lot of people's opinions. But FlyQuest turned it around. Now back here in that grand.
They didn't turn around. They just, man, I am like so tilted at the disrespect given to FlyQuest. Last night, they destroyed Envy. And I don't care if you go into a tournament and you're in the top 3. If you fail to adapt, you are going to get burned. And that's what happened to Envy. They did not adapt at all, and FlyQuest destroyed them for it. The games were closer, to be fair, than Nemesis versus Shroud X. That was more aggressive, but one thing in particular that Envy did not account for, and it's something that they had the video proof to stand and prepare for, is that Energy was legitimately playing out of their mind. Can you turn the best image? No. I will not be turning up their volume. If you want to watch them, you can watch them on Marvel Rivals. This is the only feed I could watch. If I could watch a feed and have game audio, I would watch that instead. Like, I'm not here to, like, listen to their commentary. Because it infuriates me. I want it around this audio level, just enough to where I can hear the game sounds, so I can give my feedback.
Just making sure somebody is removed from the team fight, whether that be a strategist, whether it be a duelist, booping them around in the ultimate itself. So Hulk offers a lot of versatility.
Like, I've been trying out of my mind to get like a feed that has audio only or replays, and I can't get the organizers to give me any of that. Like, I asked for replays yesterday, and they told me that it was exclusive. Whatever that means. Hang on, what did I say exactly? I said, is there a location to get replays from matches? I have a lot of the moments I need to be analyzed. And some other people chimed in, and I said, yeah, that'd be nice. It would help us create content for Ignite that isn't rehashed in the main broadcast. Is there any chance for that? And I was told they're exclusive on the tournament server. If there are clips, moments from the broadcast, I can try and get those, but I don't need clips and broadcasts. I need to analyze and showcase why these teams are being good because it's not being done on the main broadcast. But they haven't said anything. So, I don't know. Hopefully we can get that resolved sooner than later. We will see.
Yeah, and on top of that, those unique picks, like you mentioned with the Hella, that's a great point. You know, they also played the Bucky, so it's the first time I think we've seen a lot of Bucky was through them. Also in EMEA, there's been a ton of that character now coming through to fruition. And like you said, 100 Thieves are such a good team right now, and they
I expect a lot of Wolverine bans today. Wolverine is legitimately an issue for a lot of these teams.
You know, we'll see how it goes in terms of ban phase, in terms of protects. I know Sentinels are still,
especially with Hulk getting mixed in a few more times here and there. I've seen a couple of things as well, which also has that same team up with Wolverine.
He said, you know, they were more scared of Envy than they were of Team 100 Thieves. So we'll see how 100 Thieves does today. They still look like they're a very formidable roster, and you know, we saw how dominant they can be in the North American region. Besides Sentinels, they've been one of the only teams to dominate as much as they have for such a long time in MRC and in other tournaments.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we need to mention, you talked about Envy being a super strong team, correct? Well, you look over FlyQuest 3-1.
Why are they so locked on an Envy? Envy's knocked out of this tournament. Why aren't we talking about FlyQuest at all?
We talk about 100 Thieves. They haven't been running that composition that we've been seeing more frequently with you know, Cap and Panther, Psylocke, nearly as much as
Envy's dead, bro. They lost their chance.
A little more pokey, such as Hella, like we had discussed prior with.
Should be talking about energy, bro, and how much he can carry.
You know, considered older
Vest only having one major mistake in a total of 4 rounds. Just completely locked in yesterday.
Starting off, we'll see what they do. I mean, this dictates a lot. I think map
here we go.
Number one in terms of, you know, just a baseline, right? We have the Emma bans. We saw this previously, how Emma can dominate on domination. It's still up for debate, you know, who the #1 Vanguard you should ban is, but the Magneto as protect from 100 Thieves shiv. This probably
there's a Wolverine ban. All right, good.
Ban coming out.
Smart play. See, this is what FlyQuest is doing well. They're adjusting to the metas being presented to them. They're not copying what everyone else is doing. Will they win today? I don't know. But FlyQuest is clearly locked into the games and doing their research and studying people's habits.
Everyone off the eye and they clutch the W. Just so valuable that last stand, how strong that
Let us know. Human Torch bans. Makes sense. Are they gonna protect Psylocke here? Probably not.
You know, that's sort of that duelist pick that kind of hard carries, although there
Psylocke could be a protection maybe like round 2 or 3 because these are best of 5s now, right?
Speaking of which, that's getting through at the current moment. We'll see what a protect comes through.
They protected Wolverine. Wow.
You know, or with the Hulk could enable them, right, Shib?
I think 100 Thieves should really consider banning Psylocke.
Very powerful team up. It kind of always is in the back of people's minds. Obviously,
either Psylocke or Strange. Both those have been pretty clutch pickups for FlyQuest. They will send portals. It's a Wolverine meta for real. That character has been just busted for way too long.
And we see a group ban on the opposite side. 100 Thieves still keeping the thing in their back pocket, even though they don't have.
Thing protection is wise, actually. So they take out Groot to deny isolation to their opponent, and then they protect the Thing. The Thing will give them an answer to Psylocke. The damage reduction is pretty helpful. Also gives them a hard engage when they need it.
Making sure they don't get the group, maybe not having like a direct strategy,
which is something you want to have on domination, right?
But at least you're getting them off of
Thing goes up a little bit more in value when you're trying to hold down a point for a long time.
And protect phase in the upcoming maps, because it is a best out of 5, like you said, Shib. So first to 3 maps will win the series, and you know that's not even accounting draws and stuff.
So we get Energy Psylocke again, Adios with Hulk. Wolverine is there in case they need to make an adjustment. Thing is also another answer against Wolverine too. Not amazing, but unable to get picked up, obviously, as he's unable to be moved. He can be CC'd, but he can't be moved. It's a common misconception that people have. What's up, mister?
We even saw Jeff last tournament from Adios, so definitely a jack of all trades, but they do seem to love to run that Hulk Namor combination with that Gamma turret. We know how strong that thing can be at just absolutely bursting teams and forcing eyes up in weird directions to clear it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think there's a lot of
It's not even about the clear. It gives a good anchoring point, right? Like, you're gonna take a free team up if you have the chance, but you can tell that, like, honestly, the Hulk is here to enable the Psylocke. The moment the Psylocke gets looked at, you'll have the Hulk jump in and start punching people, and that allows for energy to run around, grab health packs, and find a different off angle. Like, everything about FlyQuest is about disruption, so energy can play. And Audio's playing Namor makes him a safe DPS that is reliable on the back line and anchors up really well. You went to your first Pride Parade yesterday? How was it? See any wieners?
Sweeping off to the left side as we are going to set up for point one. That teleport's going to give them some space here to kind of set up where they want to. And I can't
Yeah, see, energy is just always going to do this. Look at this.
Especially without that Wolverine.
Like, this is something that if 100 Thieves starts taking L's, they're going to try and isolate. Finds the Loki. Great job. See that? You see how the Hulk goes in, locks down a target, energy comes and cleans up? That was all Spark Chief.
Just raw skill and talent as Vest finds Harvey too. Terra going to turn that around on Vest though. Vest playing very strong in the Vanguard role over this whole tournament. Honestly, a ton of value, a ton of final hits there.
Can anyone like reach out to the commentators and be like, hey man, if you need coaching, go to Trick. So the commentator just said Energy got that kill off of raw talent and skill. No. I mean, sort of. But Spark Chief jumped in, punched, Gamma Spit, and set up the kill for Energy after Energy found the scout. It was teamwork and pure focus between two people. It wasn't raw talent and skill. It is a common practice element that they have showcased the last 2 or 3 days on the matches they've been casting. Oh, snap! This is going to be the threat to FlyQuest here. Now, when you do separate yourself and you run like a flanker composition, you do expose yourself to a 6v4 that you have to make sure that you can respond to quick enough. And if you do not, the resets are going to come in, and they are coming in hard right now. Cloak and Dagger tries to shut it down. Reset comes in again, though. The focus is too good for 100 Thieves. One more reset. Dude, he has had 6 resets so far. 7 resets. Okay, FlyQuest needs to stop attacking right now. Stop. They were holding the point. They got it at 67%, but the moment that they're done grabbing any objective control, wait it out. And they do. So FlyQuest, while it does look good for 100 Thieves right now, FlyQuest got an extra 22% off of letting their teammates die here. So that was actually a very, very valuable trade for FlyQuest. All they had to do was make sure they got out at the right time, and they did. Like, the FlyQuest is so goddamn smart. They really are. I'm so tilted they're getting 0 respect in this tournament. Like, I'm legitimately tilted. Now let's see how they take back the point. They have time here. They're about to have a Loki clone, which is going to be very helpful. Audio takes the high ground. They start to burn out in the front tanks. They're trying to burn out some abilities here while they set up for Cooper, who's going to have his ult soon. Meanwhile, Energy's in the back line, putting damage on top of their Ultron. Nice. So 100 Thieves has realized, okay, FlyQuest is having Energy come behind and poke us out and disrupt us. Let's just run towards our opponents, and they did that. They took out Audios, and then they came back. Smart. Energy comes in with an ult. Good damage. Audios is on the way right now. Just respawned. He's going to have an ult. Big Magneto ult. Does connect on top of Vest, who gets picked off. Not the support you're looking for, though. You want to get out support when you're going for a Magneto ball.
But the ult advantage should be in FlyQuest in the next fight.
Yeah, 100 Thieves looking pretty strong at the current moment, playing around Delena on that Ultron, be able to find those picks.
Okay, let's see what Vest does. Vest is like the big initiator right here. Vest and Zelos on the Cloak and Dagger.
Ultron, and they're close to those ultimates again, like you said, Shib. Delena's already close to that. Ultron ultimate ready to go. Comes Energy on the backside, but they haven't been able to deal with it. The sustain has been too much for 100 Thieves.
Oh, almost got him. Nice. Good damage. Popped out his right click. Hulk is low. Bruce Banner in trouble. Bruce Banner gets picked. Vest goes in for a combo. Cloak and Dagger answers it back perfectly, though. 100 Thieves, I think, has the advantage right now. Although they did pick up Delena. Okay. Bucky's about to have a reset. If Terra dies here, FlyQuest can win and get to the objective. First reset coming out. Captain America running him down, trying to put him down low on HP. Ultron chasing down the Bucky, getting him low. Almost has a shot. Nice shot by Terra, dodging the last second. He actually burned the ult to survive. Ooh, got picked off though at the last second. It's Vinny! Cooper has the Cloak and Dagger carpet down on the ground though, so Vinny can just punch like crazy. It's about to expire. However, Vest and Energy have their ultimates, and they clean out 4. Nice. It's Portal in time. Looking over to 100 Thieves, they do have a Loki clone. Probably going to use that on Cloak and Dagger. Here they go. They jump forward. Cloak and Dagger carpet goes down. FlyQuest has to back away and play it slow. They do have their ult still. Cloak and Dagger ult, I think it stays around for 8 seconds. I need to actually sit and count that one day. I don't know. Big ultimate comes out. Stunning 2 on 100 Thieves. They're trying to focus down Harvey, but he lives. Pops his ultimate. Energy going up for Ultron. If he can get the Ultron kill, he's going to be a good spot. Can he get the kill? He goes for the closeness. He can't get the kill. The movement's too high. It's so important to kill him here, and he can't. Loki on the far right. Vinny getting the right punches in. Audio's trying to ult, keeping his front line alive. Loki does get picked on the far right. Delana and SGP do get picked off. FlyQuest has actually done it. Now all they have to do is keep Vinny off of it and get the full overtime, and FlyQuest grabs the first win, dude.
Quest not complete though, unfortunately.
Crazy. I actually need to look this up because I don't know the Cloak and Dagger. I know that Luna Snow is the longest at 12 seconds. Heroes. Let me get better at casting. I'm a trash can. Let me fix this right now, live on stream. Looking it up. Heroes. Cloak and Dagger. The Eternal Bond. Let's see here. Oh, damn. Def Danny was right. 13 seconds. Now, is that 13 seconds from the moment it cast? So you have to put down all your carpets. So technically the first one's down for 13 seconds, but everything else is like what? What? 11, 9, and 7 probably? Or is that the moment gets put down? So it's from the first cast? Okay, that makes sense. So 8 probably for the last one. 8 to 7 seconds for the last one. I wonder if it doesn't feel as oppressive as Luna Snow's ult because you have counterplay in terms of like Magneto Ball and trying to land it, and she goes in a certain area. Trick never believes us. Hey, I was just double checking, bro. Gotta double check. Listen, I used to believe you guys until Denny Suru told me that Belvet did things that she doesn't have in her kit at all. Okay. All right. Like, I think he told me that like her E could one shot and she gets like 8 dashes or some shit. And I was like, what? This is actually 100 Thieves' best map in my opinion, in terms of their positioning from what I've seen when they have Loki. I love Belvet too. She's so fun. I really like jungling a lot recently. I feel like there's a lot more like variety in jungling. Big ult from Audios right on the top here. Okay, Terra's going for the Loki clones. Ooh, missed. Nice job. FlyQuest resets though, and 100 Thieves gets a little bit of objective data.
Gets so much value. I mean, there's just so much open space. There's less room for somebody like Ultron to hang out. I mean, you can kind of fly above, you know, try to play on those trees, maybe play around that middle point, but it's not exactly.
Man, Stepathon is back at the pro. I was actually venting to my girlfriend about Marvel Rivals commentary and how it's so hard to get my hands on any important thing so I can help them create content. And she was like, oh, there's a tournament going on? I thought you didn't get the job. I was like, oh, I'm doing co-streaming. And she's like, oh, when are they doing it? I was like, oh, there's one tonight. And she's like, you should go stream. So this stream is actually happening because of Stage left. I was planning to make salmon and chill all day and maybe grab an edible. But it's a grand final, so here we are. All right, big damage comes out. Energy trying to clear up the back line. Nice follow-up from this. Oh my god. Dude, that was so impressive. FlyQuest has once again figured out something that 100 Thieves continues to do and punishes it. Okay, so here's the map. Quick drawing of the map real quick, chat. here's the map, and here's like the entrances into the map, right? For both teams. FlyQuest has identified, and this happened on day 1 for 100 Thieves. They love to come back here with their Loki and their Hela, and they love to play this back end, right? And they let their tanks come back here, and then their tanks will pull back to their team whenever they get in trouble, and they'll defend back here in this choke. And this choke is really hard to get into because of Rune's Awakening and whatnot. FlyQuest, realizing that, took Psylocke, came back here, popped their ultimate, and then the tank team right here, from 100 Thieves. Sorry, I'm losing my painting facilities. Okay, there's the tank team. The tank team came back to handle Psylocke on our ultimate, and then the moment that Psylocke's ultimate finished, they started to come back, and then that's when Vest came in and dropped the ult and hit all 6 of them and killed them off. FlyQuest is studying VODs, dude. And that's what the difference between everybody in this tournament.
This is going to look like another one of those very... Oh, as we see Terra coming in with a cracking impact. I might have spoke too soon.
100 Thieves, rocking it here. The camera's looking to the right. That's because I'm talking. I get really animated, bro. I'm really passionate about casting, okay, chat? Passionate about this shit. In my mind, pro players are playing out of their goddamn mind for millions of dollars here. We should put as much energy and knowledge as we can into showcasing what they're doing, you know? Because what they're doing is goddamn impressive. Elena with a really good spot here. Hela actually has no drop off on her damage, so she can do things like that.
And I hope all Hela players saw that position because that was insane up there.
Look at this, another engagement. He literally knows where the Loki is every time, so he runs it down. So my question is, what does 100 Thieves do to adjust? There's a lot of good Loki spots here, but we haven't seen them do a plan B. Their plan A is getting dismantled right now. What do you do, 100 Thieves? And they're behind an ult. Look at this.
That's what I was talking about. I mean, they had to group up together. Maybe they had to split.
They don't have to teleport. They have a little bit of time. They can die one more time and then start teleporting. There we go. If Harvey dies, oh, that's huge. That is massive. Dude, did Energy just shift, teleport, and slam Q at the same time? Energy is on something right now. Oh my god, Energy. Oh my god, Energy. He's the best Psylocke in the tournament. That was so smooth. If I did that, I'd be like, shift and then bump my head into the teleport and then slam the G button and then die in the middle of my cast. He was like, bada bap. That was clean. He was dancing on his keyboard.
So maybe you can like give it that sort of leeway. But maybe if we go to Convoy,
FlyQuest just straight up prepares better for their opponents. Facts. Facts. Stealing that combo? Yeah, that was pretty smooth.
When they had the Ultron, when they had Delena on that Ultron, because right now, I mean, there's just no way for SJP and Harvey to keep the team alive when they're just choked out and slammed by Team Energy or by Team FlyQuest. With Energy going in from the dives with Spark Chief, it just feels like it's too much pressure. And, you know, that's kind of where the meta's going. It almost feels like the dive composition is doing really well. Unless you know, Adam Warlock triple res compositions, maybe with the Ultron, you can sort of live.
Holy Cooper damage. That is the appeal of playing a Loki. Loki has a really interesting attack where he gets a sphere at the end of his left click, and so it expands. So if you position it right on your tanks and the opposing tank at the same time, you get healing and damage numbers.
I don't think is going to be too super consistent. We'll see how it goes. I think when we go to Convoy, but at least on Domination, it was like.
Dude, that was a nice shot though.
And then sometimes Vinny hit a clobbering time whenever those two ultimates did not connect, or whenever one of them couldn't pop off.
I loved how like involved FlyQuest is. Like they know what's going on the map and what the win conditions are of their opponents, and then they just break them or they stay away from them.
A lot of those picks with burst damage. It's been really strong right now, and you see 100 Thieves.
I will always say that teams that adapt and do their homework are always going to exceed talent. And 100 Thieves has talent on their team. They really do. But FlyQuest is playing as a team.
But I'm with you. I I'm just not sure if it's enough. If a team's running this new, this new strategy, this new dive style effectively, can you really counter with that? They're running the thing for that reason as well. The thing and Bucky, I just don't know if it's enough. At least not what we saw in this match. As FlyQuest looked really good, and you see Cooper-tastic here with that MVP.
Thing and Bucky are fine. It has nothing to do with the hero picks at all.
A ton of damage and healing, almost neutral across the board, and that's why Loki gets banned so frequently.
Yeah, Cooper does a ton, but it's also...
It's not why Loki gets banned.
Well-deserved MVP, fantastic Loki.
I'm gonna maul.
The problem is that they're never under pressure, right? Cooper...
That's not why Loki gets banned. No pro looks at Loki and goes, man, he's doing 20k damage a match. We gotta ban that motherfucker.
Realistically, they're this first, right? So we see them in the and then we come to the War region.
What are you talking about?
It just feels like in the EMEA region, what we saw was like Team Virtus Pro.
Shit, come on, man.
Like a Mantis and stuff, and then the dive just could not get.
Isn't it considered a minimum to do your research? You undervalue, or I wouldn't say undervalue. Yeah, I think undervalue. You undervalue the ego on a lot of pro teams, especially if they haven't been in a spot where they lose. A lot of people adapt and learn how to adjust on the fly when they have experience or playing tournaments, right? But if you're always winning and you're naturally talented, you'll just straight up just run it down. Look at the NFL. There's a lot of players that are like that as well in the National Football League. Like Anthony Richardson, man. He doesn't do his homework, but my God, he's a mechanical beast. But he keeps getting injured because he's dumb, right? He keeps running into large 340-pound linebackers and tries to outplay them with his shoulders, you know? Like, ego is a massive thing when you're new to a tournament. And sometimes you have to be put on your ass before you adjust. You're saying the pros are just relying on their own bare skills? It seems like it. The only two teams that I have seen that have adjusted to what their opponents have done previously in the matches over the last 2 weeks of us watching are Team Nemesis and FlyQuest. And they surprised everybody, in quotation marks, with their wins yesterday. And FlyQuest is doing that again. Literally 100 Thieves just ran the same strategy that they ran the last 3 matches that I've watched them play, and they got destroyed because of it. And they didn't adapt afterwards. They tried it 3 times against FlyQuest, and FlyQuest shut them down each time by literally sniffing out the Loki and going to their corner of happiness on the map. And what I'm saying is 100 Thieves is just sitting there going, what? And generally, until someone beats your strategy, you're not going to think about the next step, you know? This is honestly one of the things when I was casting Heroes of Storm that I thought Temple Storm did really well when Dreadnought was on it. Dreadnought would find teams that were like 7th and 8th seeds in North America, and he would go to them and say, this is our strategy that we're running. You have 1 day to prepare, try to beat us. And then after they ran that scrim where they tried to have the 7th or 8th team try to beat them, they would say, okay, now you run our strategy and we're gonna try and beat you. There comes a lot of forethought and practice and ideas, and you constantly, the best way to prepare is to over prepare every single time in tournaments. I think it's the same with casting as well. Like in casting, over prepare out of your mind. Like try to research everything, but realize you're only going to talk like 10% of the time about things, you know? Being pro, I might as well work in the area I can. Again, these guys are pros because they made it through a qualifier in the tournament, right? These are very good players, but you do have to learn different skills in tournament environments that they're probably going to become more aware of in the future, right? All because they're pro right now, you still have to understand that this is grassroots, you know? And they may have just prepared incorrectly. Or they could have had an ego about them and be like, you know what, we're 100 Thieves, we're the best. You know, you never know authentically because we're not there in their feet or in their shoes. But what I'm seeing from these matches is that FlyQuest is taking this very seriously and trying to dismantle every team based on what strategies that they're doing, you know? Like, yeah, they might be trying out of their mind 100 Thieves or, you know, the teams that we saw got knocked out yesterday, which was Envy. You know, sometimes you buy into your own hype, you know? Everyone was like, Envy, top 3 team, they're going to be the best, they're going to be the best, they're going to be the best. Like, the commentators all day were saying yesterday, they're like, I can't believe Envy is losing, what's going on? And sometimes when you buy into your own hype, you get dismantled, and when you fall apart, you don't know what to do. They're treating it like CSGO. I mean, it's grassroots. Again, this is literally the first tournament, so like, sometimes you have to lose to know how to learn, you know? And they might get there. And again, this is still a best of 5. That was only the first match. We'll see what happens. This is the first match. Like, they could have just not know what to do in the moment, but they take this little break here and they make adjustments and go from there, and we could have a good series on our hands. Watching Marvel Esports is brutal because this song is really bad. Why don't you just mute it? And put on your own music. I got you, chat. Here we go. If no one likes the song, I got you. I got you, chat. I got you. It's a banger. Banger, bro. What is this? What is this? Did you make me an AI song? What the hell? Trick is a casting snob. I am a casting snob. Maybe I should rebrand as that. TrikSlyr, the caster snob.
Across the boards as well. I mean, that's interesting shit because I mean, people thought Envy was a really good team. Maybe that's why everybody.
I have two toddlers. That was traumatic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, both teams played really strong in Envy in their last matchup.
What the hell was that, Effie? That was kind of good.
And honestly,
that was kind of alright. You made that yesterday at 11:30 in the morning. It says.
Absolute terror. 100 Thieves.
Enemies fall in the glow. His joystick moves like a show. Headphones don't block the noise. Tim's the ruler of digital toys. What the fuck?
Curious as to see who would have had this. I would have put map 1 to 100T, but FlyQuest, they are nothing to scoff at right now.
No, FlyQuest is a good team. Nothing to scoff at indeed. But I will scoff at you if you're not running channel point predictions on your Twitch stream. If you are a co-streamer, you are trolling if you're not doing that. But you know who's not trolling right now?
Don't you dare call out my co-stream.
I'm curious what they do.
What the fuck?
But
toxic.
Right now, I mean, they have to react to FlyQuest what they're doing, right? It's tough because it's
toxic.
Like, they're gonna have to ban what, like part of the triple strategist composition
toxic.
or something. But then maybe you allow
what the hell, bro?
Come through with the Mantis. There's a lot of variation.
What the?
And you know, obviously,
they probably don't want to watch my co-stream.
So they're both going to get rid of it, and there's the Wolverine ban again.
I think Dogman and I are going to play some games next week.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We see
I hit him up and I was like, hey bro, give me a ping if you want to clap on some watch parties, play some ranked. Been watching every year so far. I think we have a lot of good shit to say about the game. He says, hell yeah, I'm down sometime next week, probs. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What'd they say? They said I wasn't running channel point predictions. That's Derek's job on these matches.
Gotta go if you're not running Torch, because Torch is incredibly strong right now.
Yeah, Torch is pretty damn good. I do think there's some counterplay to it. Like I said, when we saw EMEA, I think they did play some sort of like Loki composition against the triple. There are ways.
Actually trolling out here. You know me, troll god.
Guys, remix.
That's what I do, bro.
What are your boys doing, man? Get them on a leash. Why did Harvey not ban anything?
By the way, YouTube stream, if you're watching, do me a favor and talk occasionally in the chat. It helps the algorithm say people are watching this live stream, and they'll feed it to other people. If you want to. Don't worry about it if you're lurking. Try to out-engagement my Twitch if you can. Let's see if you guys can do it. I believe in you. How can I cook that salmon? My plan is to bathe it in oil and then salt it on both sides. And then grill it. And then I'm making a broccoli with Caesar dressing with Parmesan cheese and croutons mixed in, and I'm going to bake in the oven for a little bit. I I wish I had lemons.
Wants to do. Maybe without the thing that
Now who's the casting snob? True.
but also that Groot went through. Right now,
You made me come to Twitch from here. Thank you, Def Danny.
Number one did get rid of the Groot in this map. FlyQuest. It's kind of like they
Don't tell me what to do. You're not my daughter. Shit, bro. I want that. I've been trying to get broccoli recipes down. Trader Joe's has this really good broccoli mix that we loved, and I've been trying to mimic it, and I think I've got a pretty good.
Right now, for
What's it called?
They potentially run that triple strategist composition triple Vanguard composition on defense.
Why is my word not working right now?
I'd be kind of worried.
What do you call a clone of something?
Especially with
A replication? A
100 Thieves does against the Groot composition, because we saw yesterday,
subsidization?
it was
Maybe?
how good the Groot comp is for FlyQuest.
Yeah,
A clone, a duplicate of something? Yeah, something. I think I did pretty well. A carbon copy? That works. Yeah.
But
That's what I'm doing out here.
They've scrimmed against stuff like this. I'm sure they have a solution. If they're not banning something,
You like to overbake salmon? Oh, really? You overbake your salmon? Curious.
I'm sure they have practice against it. They know what to switch to if need be. As we start up here,
I like mine a little undercooked, like a medium rare on salmon. Ooh, Delana bringing out the storm. Who was it that played brilliantly around the storm? It was Nemesis, right?
More of an aggressive strategist. Does get a little bit of vengeance there from that support strike, if you will. And we are set up on the turret here, just bursting walls. That is priority one. As you see, Terra doing a great job there with focus.
Yeah, we saw this Storm comp come through from one of the best Storm teams in Envy, and FlyQuest dealt with it well. We'll see how they do against the 100 Thieves in the Storm composition. And right now, I mean, 100 Thieves not buying any sort of purchase or getting any sort of purchase towards this payload, right?
Pretty much Shroud X, right? It was Sheep Dairy. No, Sheep Dairy was MB. Okay, so it was FlyQuest.
Cooper gets the copy.
Okay.
The dance floor out immediately. There goes Terra with the final judgment, finding Spark Chief early, looking up towards the high side.
Wait.
Audio's doing a great job.
Cooper stole their Luna Snow. Old.
Final judgment, still good value as the Hurricane comes through. They're gonna focus target damage on it, but
Dude, everyone's getting so much better at dealing with Storm.
Playing around each other well, but what a hold.
FlyQuest is one of the first teams I see putting consistent damage on Storm when she ults.
Up in the sky we go. Energy tries to dunk it, does not work out. Out goes the eye right after, in return right here. Can TTK get the job done on the back line? No, does not land as well. Great rotation there by Loki to avoid and dodge. Cooper.
FlyQuest is starting to fall.
I mean, this is taking so much time out the clock. Minute 30, they're still trading
Yeah,
back and
it's a good
forth.
point by Dogman.
Above, you still have so much sustain. They're close to another Ultron Ultimate. Crude Ultimate out strangling prisons here. The damage is there, and my God, they've not even moved 4 meters, 5 meters.
Dude, 100 Thieves is getting blasted right now.
Length, but regardless, 2 minutes left to go for 100 Thieves, and they haven't gotten anything.
Oh my goodness.
Ultron's too good. What's how Server go? Grand finals. It's grand finals of bracket play. For seeding for the real tournament.
And stopped by the wall. Is the strangling prison? Can Terra work through it either way? Great positioning and movement here to keep the team up. Out goes the blind and damage boost. Audio's gonna pop that. Ultron's rage. Still not able to get too much, turning it into a healing. Down there from Terra. This has been
Luna Snow about to end.
having to burn everything to just get out of the door. FlyQuest.
You know what 100 Thieves really needs? They need a flanker, bro. They really need a flanker.
Yep, Vess has anime protagonist hair, and he might have anime protagonist powers.
Do they not play a flanker? Do they only play front to back in?
So good on the Doctor Strange Delena. He tried to get eyes on him, and he's still getting eliminations. Audio's gonna go down to the 1v1. Another shot. Oh my God, he doesn't miss right now. With those eliminations, I mean, maybe that gets some space. Audio's going down is huge, because that was a lot of the survivability of FlyQuest, but they're still on this card, and they pop Meteor, and they're going to need to find elimination to make
nice
this
kill. That should give them some wiggle room now.
Able to get those eliminations, finally move forwards. You're trading back and forth, though, and that's not ideal if you're.
I want to see them position a little bit more forward here.
And press forward, found a few, and that allowed the team to get up in ult advantage and in fight.
What's Vest doing? Does he have a portal up?
Finally, pressing out of the spawn door.
Yeah, FlyQuest is very quick to burn portals. They don't care.
Ult advantage should be on the side of 100 Thieves for this fight.
They don't see death as a problem on defense, which I think is the correct way to play the game.
Final fight territory. Teleport likely to
good pull by Energy.
But out goes the strangling prison. Terra trying to hold them there, and a ton of damage out walls, keeping the team healthy. Vinny finds Cooper.
Vinny accidentally, I think, put a wall down in front of him.
That's 3, 4. As 100 Thieves is now looking more like themselves. FlyQuest, though, it will have ult advantage in this next fight.
Yeah, but they wasted so much time. They wasted the entire time on that. See, that's why they're like, we don't care if we waste the portal. Because they died just in time to spawn on the second spawn, and they get set up for this next choke. No problem. Okay, that was a little weird on the death there. No way. No way. They actually getting in here? Oh my god. Is this a smart end? Luna Snow is ulting here.
Doesn't get anything. Energy not able to find much there. Outgo the dance floors to hold on.
Are they just trying to burn ults? I think they're trying to burn ults here for the opposing team. And to be fair, they did. They got 3 ults off of that for an inch. It wasn't the greatest portal. They don't care about it being a great portal. All they wanted to do was waste time, which they succeeded in. So every time that you eliminate at least 30 seconds to 40 seconds on the first objective, it removes the amount of ultimates you have to deal with the next objective. It dominoes, it snowballs, right? So like, on average in this game, you can farm an ultimate in 50 to 70 seconds, right? So if you get them to burn a minute on you all inting and doing a portal, and you get them to use ultimates as well, they're not going to have 2 fights. They're only going to have 1 fight for the next fight, and then an overtime. So you're burning their resources in exchange for your deaths. It's a coordinated effort for sure, but they're pulling it off pretty well. Nice kill. 100 Thieves is starting to lawnmower him down though. I think FlyQuest needs to chill.
As it should be very close, 2-2 with SJP and Harvey, both strat lines ready to counter up.
Energy is swapping over.
I got time for one more fight here to slow it down.
This is what Delena does, right? He just kind of off angles the whole time.
Oh wow.
Down again to TTK.
He's got Cooper.
Catching him out, and
that's probably gonna be a forfeit. No, they go for it.
Doing it in North America with these hard flanks on Namor and Hela, and he's able to find that opening pick on a Cooper. That's huge moving forward.
It goes to show you something if you're playing in ladder. Do not just stand behind the tank. Take eyes elsewhere, and it'll help everyone. Trying to stay
I don't know, man. FlyQuest, I think you need to chill, bro. I think it was really solid on the first objective. Second objective, no, dude.
And they just shove through point 2.
I don't know what it is, whether it be map design or how the pro players play the game, but it feels like in the Streets phase of maps, they just don't know how to hold. It's hard. I think that maybe the sight lines are attackers' favorite. The chokes, I mean, there's like 3 chokes you can come out of, and they all came out of the top one.
Or, you know, they were inting on cooldown and didn't know how to stop the gas.
I mean, you can say he's sort of feeding a little.
It has nothing to do with sightlines of the map.
Because they're sort of caught out of position, caught with their pants down.
In fact, we saw 3 teams yesterday holding the second point until overtime hit.
The teleport, and it did kind of bite them, and they were playing so well together with momentum. It's heavily shifted as Vinny finds Spark Chief. Terra, how many times?
Damn, Terra, cooking them.
Consistently ready to press Q nearly every fight as Harvey takes out 2. Well done there by one of the masters of Loki. Delena gonna find Vest, and Vinny just.
FlyQuest is committed to this. We're gonna int on cooldown strategy. They put Spark Chief on Venom, and they use Venom for inting.
We're now running that Venom on Spark Chief. Out comes the Human Torch. And we will see a bit of a
That's how I get banned. I was kind of talking to chat and I didn't catch it. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Although I don't think Psylocke would help him here. They seem to favor Psylocke on domination maps.
Yeah, this could be huge for them.
Big ult from Vest.
Can they collapse? 2 go down. Will we see 3 Vests? These eyes have not missed. An absolute demon energy cleans up Terra.
Nice.
And there goes 4. Can I see 5 and
okay.
6? And well,
so at least they sat there at the end push and they were like, all right, guys, we're kind of inting, and they gave themselves a full 20 seconds to defend. Nice.
Energy sitting in the flank, sort of hiding. You can see
portal comes out. Oh, that portal is wasting so much time. Wait, this portal's wasting so much time. It's wasting so much time.
They're trying.
It's wasting so much time, dude.
8 seconds. I mean, Terra's gone as well, and Spider-Man, like you said, he sweeps.
Oh my God.
Anybody even touch? 3 seconds left.
Oh my God.
Nobody's there. 100 Thieves get stopped in their own spawn door due to some portal cheese.
That's
baby.
crazy, dude.
This is a strange map for a reason. Strange plays so
That's
well on
crazy,
these
bro.
especially the double ones. There's multiple
What a way to
on this map.
lose.
I believe 3 to just shut down the enemy. Incredible timing, great thought
What a
process,
way
and
to
really good
lose,
job
dude.
done by
I actually
Vest.
don't know how long the portal
Holds that
lasts.
in there. They were only able to squeak out with a Spider-Man.
It looked like it was like 20 seconds there, didn't it?
Immediately. What a hold by FlyQuest.
Can I say something, Shib? I am so tired of the people that say, get that out of the game. You know, like the Doctor Strange portal cheese where you block spawn and stuff. You know, it's like, it makes sense. It's annoying to play against for sure. Like, I don't disagree. Same thing with Black Panther. You know,
20
writers
seconds.
that complain about how OP the character is. It's a part of the game, you know, and I love it.
Yeah,
That's the Doctor Strange portals,
I agree.
That's a part of the, you know, tech of this game.
I think
even
the
though
way
it's, like,
to
not skillful for sure. I mean, if you just time it
the
well,
way to nerf
it's
that
its own,
without
realistically,
nerfing
it's
the
not like a
ability
mechanic
is
skill
make
per
it
se.
so where only a certain amount of people can jump through it over time. So like say that like you put a cap on it of like 20 people can go in and out of it. So like it doesn't really affect the main gameplay, but you can break that cheese by everyone jumping through. So like if 20 characters, so they could have them go over 3 times each, would break it. That would work. That'd be a good way to like focus on that cheese without nerfing the portal.
Requires insane timing and skill and thought. He had to click that button instantaneously, likely before everyone was even KO'd as they press forward in FlyQuest.
Huge quote from the announcer, it's broken and should be removed.
They are in the momentum in their favor. Can 100 Thieves turn this back to them and hold them early on as they're electing to hold a little deeper?
If they don't like the portal,
right now they're trying to go for those early holes, and there's already, you know,
portal block.
Sort of pushing them out, especially with that hole.
They have 4 bands to divvy out.
They need to learn to define these opening picks on flank angles and stuff. And
Did I spell divvy, chat?
And they have this corner already. I do like
ban strange if you don't like it, bro.
but this team doesn't feel like they need it as that down goes.
This whole game is like full of broken shit.
Groot's worst nightmare is the guy with claws. He turns into a scratching pose and just charges up. And he's just such a large body. It allows Logan to just make massive plays early onto a
That's what makes it fun.
Terrifying. You really, you know, you're forced to try to work in with like an invis to get that push and pull to keep your vanguards up. It just forces out a ton of changes in your composition. But FlyQuest is already on the very end here. Out comes Terra's final judgment. No new sight here, as this has been something we've been seeing consistently. Out goes a
Great
ton
looking
of
dagger.
cooldowns. We do see the eternal bond there, keeping FlyQuest healthy.
Good portal.
Holding on behind the point.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing slow.
Okay, they get to the Punisher ult pretty big. And immediately, this is why energy is so good. The minute the Punisher ult was down, he dove in there.
Energy in the sky was a good idea there by TTK. Damage boost goes out as well. Harvey holding on to the dance floor.
Oh, nice. Nice, Luna Snow. Who caught that? SJP?
For those who don't know, you can use that as an iframe to avoid stuns, but they were not able to hold on to the point, and FlyQuest just takes it.
Yeah, energy with a huge last stand, I think, to close it out for them, and you know, Vest kind of created space. At least
Nice. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love Spark Chief so much, dude.
Unfortunately, it was Punisher with the dead dog. The wrong show. Wrong show. Regardless,
Spark Chief is just haunting him.
A pick from him. I mean, that fastball special, like you said, Shib, it's huge. We see teams in EMEA do it as well. Insomnia are a huge.
I'm feeling a 3-0 right now, chat.
That Wolverine team up, and they're doing it again.
Yeah, no, that's just his whole family, not the dog. But anyway, we are going to see the throw here by Fly. Energy, again, just playing a mean Wolverine here on these angles. Terrifying force and finding a ton of tackles.
Please stay on the Hulk. I want to see how he plays it.
Well played. Spark Chief is a mean
stay on it.
as well. We talk about Groot finding, or excuse me, Hulk finding extra value recently. He just kind of fell off the meta just due to just lack of, I don't know, not lack of experience, but just maybe lack of utilization. People just kind of forgot about him, but he is still incredibly strong. The team is able to drop him as
Hulk actually didn't go out of the meta because of utilization. He was banned out a majority of the time. And then people stopped practicing him, and Hulk actually requires a hefty amount of practice to be effective with. He looks simple in concept, but his movement is very volatile, right? With your jumping and getting the correct jumps and landing, and you need to practice those mechanics. Also, the other tanks are easier to get value on, especially with your team. So I wouldn't say people forgot about him. It's just that they were practicing other tanks and then were comfortable with them.
Also, people are stunning the choke point, but 100 Thieves, they're maybe opening things up. Energy went a little bit too deep.
Like, Hulk is actually kind of squishy. You have to be very mobile.
That is what they needed to get back on this point. Harvey is going to try to copy up the Bond. Adios finds Delena as we have Bonds on the ground on both sides. Zelos falling back, trying to retreat towards the team, towards Loki at least, and Strange. They are resetting well, and they're going to retake this fight with 3 minutes.
They have 3 minutes, yeah. They can take their time here. They want to try and bait out an ult, in particular Punisher ult.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it is very difficult to take. Good point. Adios comes in with that Ultron ult, met by Terra again. He's got eliminations last time with his final judgment.
Dude, I love how FlyQuest uses the Hulk. Adios popped his ultimate there and started getting damage, and then Spark Chief jumped over the entire fight and started helping him to try and push back the rest of the team so his team can move forward. Such a just great utilization. And that's where your Hulk can be so good, when you're able to adjust your gameplay based on what's happening in the moment.
So far, waiting out some cooldowns. Likely gonna press Q here if need be, but they may not need it. Cooper onto Terra, Cooper onto Vinny, and that's that firing line damage from Loki.
I kind of want to play some Hulk now, chat. We might have a Hulk day next Marvel Rival stream.
And 100 Thieves are falling here.
Ooh.
FlyQuest is popping off and taking point 2.
3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Vance again, like you said, on Doctor Strange has been nuts. I think FlyQuest takes advantage of Doctor Strange better than most teams, if not every team. And for 100 Thieves side, they have to come back and do it with 3 minutes. Vinny is on that Captain America, so he'll do some harassing in the back line. But unfortunately, when
look at this. Look at the Hulk back here.
Sort of dives,
set up for a flank.
It sort of negates the value
got him.
of Doctor Strange. And
got him. Perfectly played. My God.
Energy has been doing that nearly every fight.
I think 100 Thieves' problem is they want to play way too front to back on their compositions. They want to have two meatballs just slamming each other. And FlyQuest is like, yeah, we like meatballs, but we also have noodles, bro.
Great final judgment here by Terra, who has a mean Punisher up again.
Great.
With the turn.
Got the cloak.
And they are going to retake positioning here, I believe, but Energy has that last stand. They're just going to let himself fall there.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Why he just AFK'd for a moment, but 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. TTK with a huge shot.
Yeah, the moment Cloak and Dagger died, that entire push was dead. Energy said, just take me out, bro.
Shredder's ultimates used, two Shredder's ultimates used.
There's no reason to like spend your ultimates and try to force a scenario when you have 2 minutes.
On that Hulk as well. I mean, there's 2 minutes.
You could probably farm 2 more ults in that time.
4 Shredder's ultimates with the Captain America, so they want to sustain, but it's going to be very hard to do so versus Energy. I mean, Last Stand can find eliminations even through Shredder's ultimates if it's placed well.
Yeah, it's all about bunkering down together here.
Again.
This could be a huge pick. If it
again.
Loki, but you gotta find out together. Doesn't look like it was. Great all here.
Okay, Punisher roll. They back out. Look at this.
What do you know, Terra with another
look at this movement. Beautifully done.
In these fights, just dealing so much
Energy just trying to buy time. Ooh, Adios gets caught though.
No, down goes Adios, and 100 Thieves may be able to hold this with 1:30 on the clock.
And they definitely could. It's within their wheelhouse to do so. 100 Thieves also built up those Shredder's ultimates. Energy again. Where are you going to send him? Are you going to flank again on Hulk? It looks like they are. But they know it's coming because you can hear the Hulk's giant footsteps kind of running around these back halls.
I mean, they've also gotten hit by it 3 times.
You know there's going to be a fastball in hand. Energy tried. Great bubble there.
Cloak and Dagger ult. Okay. Backs out. Grabs a health pack.
Delena now is trying to find a
FlyQuest farming up. Spark Chief kind of low on HP.
Able to grab that. Spark Chief going to head back towards the strats. Hopefully gives some all charge, but no, that's a great pick.
Do they counter engage?
Bruce into that corner. Yeah, at this point,
they
you
should.
Leave him as Bruce form for as long as possible, and then maybe find the pick, as it does just essentially take one out the fight.
Cloak and Dagger ult.
Taking the space back out goes the Eternal Bond up in the sky. Go TTK and Ultron.
Nice TTK. TTK has been incredibly clutch. He has stopped both Cloak and Dagger attempts. One from Loki and one from Zelos. 35 seconds.
They don't have Doctor Strange, so there's no portal blocking going to come through onto FlyQuest.
Portal time? Where's Vest at? We should be looking at Vest. Is he portaling?
Play close together as a unit. 100 Thieves don't have a ton of.
He's not portaling. So they're going to run it up. They did switch off of the Hulk. They do this pretty often on their last push because Thing is kind of more frontline. He can just charge in with his shift. And he guarantees the objective because he can't be CC'd.
Yeah, it's all about this fight.
So they try to push in for the overtime.
They need to do it here. This is everything for them. Can they find value with each one of these cues?
Big ult. This is going to be an ult from Wolverine.
Early, and they find
2 picked off.
Will this be enough for them to take
Captain America trying to slow it down. 3 down. Okay, and they got to heal up. And portal to lock him out again.
And it's over. I mean, there's no way they do this. I mean, they do have one coming out. It could be potentially doable.
2-0.
I mean, that's over. FlyQuest against the
2-0, baby.
In this case, Shib, like you mentioned, they didn't have a lot of time left at the very end, but they had so much going into third phase. Get it done on that map, up 2-0, put themselves on map point to get that #1 seed.
FlyQuest's gonna be the #1 seed, bro.
Wow. FlyQuest is
Straight up.
so good as a unit. We talk about the individual talent. We talk about them playing together as a team. It seems
Straight
like
up, dude.
in these interviews and their discussions about being more versatile.
At least it was a close game, yeah.
To be banned out. 100 Thieves, an incredible team, clutching up in moments. Obviously, look at the stat lines across the board. It's difficult to pin blame if you're even trying to. It's just all about those fights, those neutrals, and finding a value with those cues.
Yeah, the problem is I think a lot of the carry.
Look at the strategy, bro.
And through teamwork, just like whittling down the opponents. Like you said about Terra having 55,000 damage. I mean, double the amount of the highest damage dealing characters on the other side. I mean, with Vest with 27k. It's, was that 54k? So that's not even the same amount as Terra in that damage. But we saw that as well on Domination some maps, right? It depends. When you have a Storm, when you have a Punisher, of course, we're going to do high damage. Of course, you're going to do all of that damage. Like you said about how Jeff players will get MVP sometimes. They'll be like, guys, I did so much. But it's just because of the algorithm and stuff, you know, that the support players, strategist players get MVP. But regardless, it's not all about stats. It's all about team play, like we said. FlyQuest playing around that objective very well. We saw how long that first point hold was. And sure, you know, the stats may not show that they were completely dominant compared to Terra's stats, but I mean, it's Punisher. That's what he freaking does. He does damage. Like, what do you think is going to happen when a Punisher's in the lobby and there's nothing to really match?
I mean, Punisher's gonna get a lot of damage when we die 3 times on the first objective. Our whole team just running it down over and over. Just to waste time.
As Fly had a ton of time there after the second point, at least, or, you know, 2 minutes 20 there on the third point, and they just kept finding success in these fights. It was insane to witness, and like you're saying, energy, these early picks nearly every time, as you see right here onto Terra, which is a massive W. If you find Terra early like that, just the raw damage, we talked about, what, 55k, 13 finals there for Terra, who had about 5 billion ultimates, so just an incredible team.
5 billion ultimates.
Gotta show some love again. Cooper Tastic, Loki. You know, we talk about how strategists that deal damage, definitely a favorite for the MVP, but you can't joke about 29 KOs with 20k damage and 50k healing.
He is really good. He's really good, but I feel like we both agree Vest was probably the real MVP just because of, you know, the Eye of Agamotto's and stuff, and the whole team just played super well. Cooper Tastic definitely deserved. As we talk about, you know, maybe they got to change the algorithm again to make sure these strategist players don't get so many MVPs.
Damage isn't the objective. It does contribute the ability to do, but it doesn't direct. Yeah.
Yeah. Good strategist players, and Cooper Tastic is
Like, FlyQuest was literally inting to buy time.
You mentioned Vest with top
And so damage numbers are going to be inflated for the opposing team, but ultimately it comes down to the W. And the W was grabbed by FlyQuest. They almost overdid it, but they locked in at the final push.
Set up 3, 4, even 5 sometimes final hits there, which were taken by teammates. But wow, what, you know, it shows you the value of Strange and how he's very much still prevalent in this meta.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is still super good. That's what we saw.
I feel like every character is prevalent. I feel like
for Nightmare too,
that's
Shib, right? I mean, he was a hella, not gonna say one trick, but definitely a very good hella player, definitely a good hit scan player. Swapping over to the Doctor Strange, swapping over to Vanguard, taking over your role, maybe. Shib,
I'm gonna stop talking.
Players can come over and do well.
I have so many opinions.
You know, he's a Vanguard player, true and true, and there's a lot of Vanguard players that also switch as well to Duelist. Is that something unique about Marvel Rivals, the fact that you can switch back and forth so frequently?
Yeah, I think it just has to do with, I mean, and it's up in the air what their decision may be. But if you take the Vanguard aim out of the Vanguard, that is sure trouble. And FlyQuest has sure been looking like trouble out there. I can't wait to see this next match after this break.
Dude, I'm so ready for Blade. I hope he's cool as hell. Bum ba bum bum. You should stream the comms. Give me the comms. Give it to me. Is it the Iron Ship guy, the one who says a lot of nothing? No, it's not that he doesn't say anything. It's just that it's all very generic, and it makes me wonder if he's actually looking at what's happening in the matches, right? You could literally take what his commentary and put it on every single game, and it would sound similar. I think Shiba is 3rd place in the commentators for me. The other guy, Cozy, is 4th place for me. Like, I literally cannot understand why he yells in the middle of matches, "Oh my god, there's so many ultimates, what's going on?" To me, that's not hype. But it might be hype to other people, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm looking for in a broadcast. But, they're all good casters, for the record. Like, they are far and away not even close to being bad casters, right? I've heard incredibly worse, right? But there's either 2 things happening. Either A, he doesn't play the game high enough level to understand what's happening, so he just says that. Or B, he's getting overwhelmed with the visuals, which is fair, because this game does have a lot of spamming, right? I would, like, if I were to have, like, an actual one-on-one with him, I'd be like, listen, bro, you need to listen to your co-caster into the game, and then speak. Don't speak and try to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he does. It is a lot of fluff, and this is something that, like, no commentator is going to just skip that step. If you watch my first year in the HGC, it's just fluff. It's fluff, 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 fluff. I had to, like, sit down and literally, like, learn what I wanted to say. Like, I was really good at the minute details because I played the game more than the other commentators, but, like, in terms of being able to catch full strategy, I think Dread and Caldor were better than me. And in terms of preparation, Gillyweed was way better than me in the first season, for sure. But you have to, like, critically sit down and listen to yourself and go, why am I saying that, you know? And Caldor also helped me out a lot, too. He would call it the la-di-da mode. I would be, like, casting a match, and then we would go to break. He'd be like, hey, you're doing the la-di-da mode again. I'm like, what? And he goes, it's where you just start talking, and it sounds like la-di-da-di-da. And I was like, all right, I'll fix it. Bet. I got you. So I got super sensitive to it, you know? I can see there are a lot of ults playing to me to complete noob who doesn't know what's happening. Is that what you're saying you're wanting from the commentary, Layden? I think also these commentators are kind of getting stuck in the mode of, like, we have to catch everything. And it's like, you don't have to. Like, find the 1 or 2 moments that are a linchpin in the moment and focus on those. And I think the observing also needs that criticism as well. Because the observing is every time an ult gets popped, they literally just, like, jump to it in a fight. And it's jarring. Like, I can barely follow it, you know? Every Trick viewer knows la-di-da mode. Yeah, I go to la-di-da mode in some games that I'm not having fun in. Yeah. Are these guys streamers too? Dogman is. I watched a stream the other day. He was playing Rematch. He's pretty fun as a streamer. He cusses way more than you would think, but I think that's also, like, that's probably what you find out about me too when you watch me casting. Like, I can be professional, but you come to my stream and I'm a degenerate, you know? I think, I don't know what Shib does, but he looks like a streamer. He has, like, a Twitch link, and then I know Cozy runs, like, podcast and whatnot, and then I know Vivikitty's been around for a long time in other games.
Since they did lose, they should be able to choose this map again, so we'll see if they change something up here.
I sit under their asshole and I keep queuing. I'm just looking at their asshole and I'm like, I'm gonna lick it. Yeah. Great example. Thank you, PG Papa. Thank you. Appreciate you. Their choice of helpful over something like Groot, Mag Strange, and so I'm thank you. About that, but wow, I mean, what was I even talking about? Like, why did I say that? Ever? I'm gonna blame that on AI, chat. You can't find the clip. It's hard because AI mimicked me. You know, right now it seems like FlyQuest is good at adapting to the meta for sure, and you know, we heard about Spark Chief, what we heard through Nevix earlier. I might know why I didn't get the job. Shit, bro. You have to, you know, play everything besides just a mere composition. So because you can get targeted, it might put you in a comps you're not as comfortable with. So flexibility is key, and FlyQuest has been known as one of those teams that can flex to the highest degree. So same bands as well coming through from FlyQuest. All right, Emma Frost, Wolverine band makes sense.
what's happened so far.
FlyQuest is not dealing with the Wolverine, and I think that's a proper ban.
Through the first 2 protects and 3 bans, but maybe things will vary after this. But Luna Snow banned again for 100 Thieves.
I actually don't know fully. If a team loses, do they pick first pick or do they pick the map?
About the fact that they're still banning Emma off the rip. We've seen other regions now electing to not do that.
Because I feel like picking the map would benefit them more than taking first pick. Because the first pick is costing them both Wolverine and Emma Frost.
Relatively early to try to give you a better chance here, but that is not going to be the case as we see roughly the same bans. We get to Cap. Cap out of there is a good change of pace here for 100 Thieves.
I think they did that last time, though. Like last round.
Oh, yeah.
They played Hulk.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, the Ultron ban, that's at least forcing them off of that Ultron composition. We'll see what FlyQuest does to adapt to it. But we, you know, from what we've seen, Shib, I mean, Triple Res is still available. They go for that Wolverine. Or
Curious
that,
100 Thieves chose the Captain America as a ban.
I don't know. I mean, not crazy adaptation from 100 Thieves, but it's something, right? And that's kind of like you said, that's what we want out of this team.
It's not something. I think this is pretty bad adaptation for them. Why'd they ban Captain America? Clearly, Hulk and Psylocke has been way more aggressive into them. Why'd they ban Captain America? What a throwaway ban. That was such a valuable ban.
And I'm excited to see another domination.
Sucks people forgot about the Hulk. He never plays it anymore. Yeah, I just forgot about him, dude. He just disappeared from the meta for some reason.
Which is kind of interesting. They're playing instead that triple with the Wolverine, not playing towards that Namor again, maybe opting away from that hero, at least versus 100 Thieves, depending on how the bans go.
Why did 100 Thieves ban Captain America?
The Namor again, specifically, I guess if you mentioned Loki, because you can just pop crystals, counter your entire ultimate, so that could be definitely a reason why we're not seeing the Namor necessarily.
Why'd they ban Captain America?
You know, the 100 Thieves composition, maybe the Namor doesn't.
Are they throwing on purpose?
We know that's in their back pocket. We'll see what they do on Hall of the Jalia, like you mentioned, and right now 100 Thieves definitely have none of the wind in their sails. So, you know, FlyQuest, this is the final boss in the group stages. We'll see if they can accomplish this goal, this raid finish, and right now they're looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, to quote something like Hawkeye, you got to pull the bow back before it can loose.
Can anyone explain to me why 100 Thieves banned Captain America?
Progressing forward ever since. If they take 100 Thieves out here 3-0, I cannot imagine the momentum as we go into the playoffs next weekend.
I just like how that Black Panther statue, you know, just reminds us of FlyQuest losing to Ego Death in the first round. So
they should have portal on the high ground.
That's sort of been a recurring theme with FlyQuest hovering around the Black Panther, understanding they lost to it. You know, they're not afraid to admit it, and right now 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I do agree. Shib does have good energy because he's very distracting to support with. No, I get why Captain America can be a ban. But why did 100 Thieves, who is losing to Psylocke, Hulk, Thing, ban Captain America? Why did they ban something that is not influencing their matches? Nice ult here from Adios.
To clean out Delena there. Delena again gets a pick, and it's just back and forth.
Oh my goodness, Fest did connect the Meteor M past the shield, but it wasn't fully charged, so Terra got to live. Also, that HP buff.
Nice job on the DBS.
I forgot Terra literally had like 42 HP. If it was old Punisher, he would have been gone. So they're trying to portal back. They do have somebody to touch. FlyQuest.
The portal!
There is the retouch. Able to drop in here. We'll see how long this.
Yeah, it's too distracting for the Force to deal with. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, my bad. Now I understand. Shit, bro.
There's the res though, but it's not going to be enough to touch. It's just going to force a stagger unless they can. Right off the map goes Spark. Smart decision there to regroup as a team. You do not want to wait, because when you wait, the next fight is down a number, and then the odds go in their favor, and it's a steamroll from there. As we see Cooper fall there.
Wow, they got a chase hard over there, didn't they?
Talking about staggering, there it is.
Yeah, these are some good staggers, and this is what we talk about too with, you know, if you're wondering why a tank player, a Vanguard player swapped to Rocket Raccoon. to retouch the point. You know, there's certain heroes you need to retouch with Doctor Strange. Rocket Raccoon can be seen as one of those to allow your team to constantly pressure the point with the BRB. You know, you come back through with somebody else on Doctor Strange. Just whoever goes down first, whoever's the first casualty wants to swap. Now 100 Thieves.
Break the walls, bro.
They do have Vinny now on that Doctor
Nice.
Strange, so that could be the change they need. But Energy with
Dude, it is impressive how consistently this works. And what's funny, because like the moment that FlyQuest is done with the Hulk throwing Wolverine in, they're okay with him dying. I actually love how willing Spark Chief is willing to die for his team.
Not able to finish that up. 100 charge, ready for damage as Adios finds one. Down goes Vinny. FlyQuest again up in numbers and holding on and finding their footing. But Terra taking the space right back.
Yeah, it's tough. You just don't want to be taking easy eliminations like that in the neutral, giving momentum back. Delena, oh no, goes down again, but maybe Terra can equalize it with this final judgment. They come back in with that eternal bond, and he gets tracked. Oh no, Cooper, too easy for Terra.
Ooh, Wolverine trying so hard. Ooh, he gets out, nice.
With some fantastic shots in the ultimate.
Okay, big ults. Oh, these ults are huge. Cloak and Dagger ult comes down the bottom, turns around to help the hole. Cloak and Dagger sets up. Zelos in full dagger form. Or, excuse me, cloak form. I get those mixed up all the time, chat. I'm an idiot. Ooh, nice kill by Vinny. Elena in a prime position to pop off here. Okay, Hulk can buy time here for a while now. Also, Wolverine getting banned out. Another thing too, the why they keep focusing the Wolverine ban is it lets Hulk do his thing. Look at this. You also get 30% damage reduction when you use your Q, so he actually used it to buy time. He didn't do that for a kill. He actually did that so he could just stay alive. Great job.
Yeah, this composition makes a little bit more sense for FlyQuest to have Adios on that Human Torch. It's probably
I think FlyQuest is my favorite team. I love their brains, dude. I love the way they think.
Onto that Wolverine. It's very important to have these duelist players who can flex to characters, whether they be Hitscan, whether that be Wolverine, whether that be any melee characters. Right now, FlyQuest transitioning at the right time. 100 Thieves, though, swapping Vinny over to the Captain America to open things. Delena also onto that Ultron. This composition hasn't worked out for them previously, but they do have 2 minutes to work with. We'll see if something can change.
Yeah, just kind of a
Okay, Vinny switched over to Captain America. Let's see if he knows something that we don't know. Pushing him in. Wolverine goes in to deny. Cooper has the ult. There it is. Magneto trying to go for it. Ooh, nice hit. Damn, he held that meatball for a while, too. Actually, one of the weaknesses of FlyQuest composition here is they can't overload Magneto. Because they don't have many pew-pewers. They have a lot of punchers. Or slow shooters.
Yeah, right now, I mean, TTK was putting the team on his back. Found another one, Best found his counterpart, and they're just able to push on forward. 100 Thieves.
They got it.
Transition to this Ultron composition has definitely panned out. I mean,
2.5 minutes though. It's where a lot of fights usually stagger out.
From TTK, which is just a great shot. So for FlyQuest side, maybe they can, you know, come back, at least kind of come into the third phase. But right now, 100 Thieves have looked better than they have on the other 2 maps. Right now, they're looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, one of the things you'll notice players that play Magneto at this level is you need to have an ascend and descend button ready while you're playing Magneto or honestly, any character that has the ability to fly, because if you can descend while, you know, when you initially use that ult, you start upwards, you can actually descend low, so you can weave that Meteor M in unique locations and spots that people may think that they're safe. So great pick there. Down goes Spark Chief as Terra finds one, looking for a second. Terra.
That was fair analysis, actually.
Every fight goes to show you how strong Punisher is.
That's the first time that I've heard Shib say something about mechanics in the game. Hell yeah. Let's go, Shib! Good commentary!
Doing this well. I mean, just able to take down Adios, making
Hell
sure
yeah!
this Torch is uncomfortable. I mean, that first little bit in this third phase is harder for these flyers. So once 100 Thieves break through this choke point, I'd be a little bit worried for flyers.
Flying up and down pretty good.
Into this eternal bond from 100 Thieves, so you know where they're all going to be.
And out goes the passive there for Energy. Energy is able to get some HP back, trying to find one TTK. Oh, great attempt there, not able to make
Cooper is terrified.
Now with the Ultron, we talked about Ultron being incredibly impactful as a strategist right now with raw damage, especially in triple comps like this. So Delena going to keep the pressure on. Great movement when you use.
Oh, I like that jump. That jump for Sparkle Chief.
Speed
landed on the health pack. So if he didn't get the catch he was looking for, at least he had a way out.
Terra goes down, and you can find value here with Torch when you use that Supernova.
Nice.
May be a little bit on the lower side of the tier list for ultimates.
Yeah, this character has a lot in his kit, right? With Human Torch, you mentioned it, Shiv, to me, how when you melee, that character's flying all over the place, hitbox-wise. So hard to hit this character when he goes.
Delina getting hard diff by Audios. It's really hard to play Ultron into Human Torch, because Human Torch, whenever he uses a speed boost, he switches his health bar. So it's hard for you to hit your shots on him as Ultron. Also, he gets headshots, you don't. It's kind of unfair to say that about him.
Great cape there. Sparchief finds Delena. Terra on the vest, and out goes the bond for the side of Fly. Zelos just going to dance it around point. Sparchief throwing out the bubble. Just going to start pummeling the front line, but only at 16% for the ultimate. Cooper popping that ultimate off as well. Now it is a neutral as nothing is left. The cooldowns are burned. Can FlyQuest hold on, or will 100 Thieves do 100 Thieves?
Ooh.
Energy finds 3 as Zelos sweeps Harvey.
Wolverine doing Wolverine things.
Energy, an absolute demon here on this Wolverine, and you might want to pick him off the
They're just standing there blocking so they can't get through.
as FlyQuest holds on before
All right.
Yeah, clean game from FlyQuest at the moment. I mean, they had 2 minutes third phase, 100 Thieves did, but could not capitalize, lose 1 or 2 fights. And it's
That's still a pretty far distance for 100 Thieves. That's pretty all right, actually. It's not bad.
Alongside having the Human Torch, it feels like they keep getting whatever they want. I mean, unfortunately for 100 Thieves, they've not necessarily banned out the wrong things, but it feels like FlyQuest, they're so versatile. They're able to flex to so many different versions of the same composition right now, alongside being able to play Groot, being able to play Doctor Strange. So, I mean, this is looking like a scary team. I'd be a little nervous playing against FlyQuest right now after they've made that lower bracket run.
Yeah, I will
There's
say,
no way that 100 Thief fell off this hard.
Thieves looking like their old selves there on some of those pushes, especially
They're
11 final
literally
a lot of pocketing going into this composition. It is
in the grand finals.
The Punisher during final judgment composition, but Delena now going to be making a switch here to
They're literally in the grand finals.
a bit of a change.
They're the second best team in their group. Granted, it's only a group of 8 people, but
on the penny, not sure if that's going to be indefinite or not, but I think it is just for the lineup. It's likely for the lineup.
He got SJP. He got SJP already.
The lineup off the rip.
He did it. He did it. If you don't know, there is the Penny. I mean, everybody knows at this point, but if you don't know, Penny Parker has some lineups in your own spawn towards like the main point on Hall of the Jalia. Aim that towards the objective. SJP on.
that's crazy that he got that. That's how you know. That's how you know 100 Thieves is tilted.
Yeah, it's worth portaling quickly to see if you can get in there before the return of SJP.
That's funny.
If you take damage there early from Penny and you do not get KO'd, tell your strategist to hold off on healing you until the map starts, and they'll actually get alt charge. Little known fact. So way to turn that back in your favor as we hold on here and start this first push. And tackle again.
Oh my God.
Just a monster, just built different here.
Poor Cloak and Dagger.
A little bullied right now. 2 eliminations early on. Now FlyQuest just walking towards the objective. Really just kind of controlling space right now is Energy's game plan, but they're against Terra with the shotgun. However, they will be missing a lot of their healing in the Cloak and Dagger walking back from the spawn.
And Terra pulling out the shotty, just trying to buy some space. Energy again onto TTK. These tackles are so impactful. Invis might need to be pulled out here. I'm not sure if it was banned out. I have to check back, but it is so difficult to escape the cat when the claws are out. Energy finds 2 more, and FlyQuest on a mean assault here takes point 1.
Yeah, that was mean indeed. And 5 minutes in the show, 100 Thieves, they got to figure out something, man. They got Delena going over to the Psylocke, so at least they have something to back up Vinny's dive. I mean, but the Punisher now going to be left alone.
I like how they come out and they break all the destructible stuff right away.
I want to see how 100 Thieves react.
I need to be better about that.
Their ultimate's now coming fight right now. FlyQuest look like the better team, but maybe string together a few fights together, 100 Thieves can finally get a map win.
Yeah, alt advantage going to be slightly in their favor.
Like, I do it when I, like, am I trying to set up a play, but I should just do it in general for Vision as a tank. It's kind of hard, though, because some characters, like, aren't good at it. Like, Ultron I can do it more on, and I love doing it on Storm. Her right-click blows out an entire wall.
Copy comes through from what looks like Cooper on the front line. Also, Audio's committing. The Supernova matched on both sides by Harvey, so both Lokis committing their copied Cloak and Dagger ultimates. No eliminations necessarily just yet for Terra, though.
Yeah, it seems like teams are playing patiently with the Qs right now. Don't want to
FlyQuest is getting better about dealing with the Punisher. The moment they heard the Punisher ultimate, they backed away. Elena finally pointing out her Psylocke, though. Sadly not getting a kill. Oh my god, the 3-man Wolverine ult. Dude, in my opinion, I think Wolverine's the #1 bannable character in this game. Legitimately. Like, what the heck, dude? What are we doing? Letting that man terrorize the entire game.
This Wolverine indeed. I mean, energy last hand connected flush, huge connection onto 100 Thieves backline, onto their vanguards as well.
It's just so disruptive.
The Invisible Woman could help them maybe deal with the Wolverine bubbles out though. TTK has to try to recover, but he just can't.
Yeah, Cooper gonna take out TTK early in the fight.
Wait, if you jump over Wolverine and then they pop the team up, it will pull him with you? That was fancy. I thought you had to be closer than that. No, it just tries to register if you're flying in. So the Hulk hit the team up while he's flying over. Wolverine grabbed it. Hulk landed it, and then Wolverine teleported to him. That's crazy. Taking that space and annoying the back line, but is able to retreat there, find his team, get healed up, and here comes the initiation by Cooper. Cooper!
Yeah, FlyQuest so practiced, so well versed with dealing with those Punisher ultimates. Now they're under the back line.
Wow.
Out as well.
Wow.
Cloak and Dagger ults, but oh no, Harvey got grabbed, stunned, and he's down even in the copy. Oh no!
All right, chat. I'm probably gonna go after the series. I'm hungry. I want to go cook food. But there is still going to be another match right after this on twitch.tv/MarvelRivals. If you want to check it out. If it's a good match, let me know. I'll watch it tomorrow morning with you guys. And do a recap on it. / cast it if you want in the moment. Let me know. I'm hungry. I want to go make my salmon. But thank you all for hanging out, and I hope you guys enjoy the Marvel Rivals cast, etc. Me yelling at clouds about commentary. I got a lot of feelings, okay? And it also feels like FlyQuest are taking full advantage of the space they're provided.
Yeah, we talk about Terra being one of the best Wolverines in the game. They take that off the field with a ban.
Ooh, nice snipe. Good job, Vess. Nice. 4 down. He's just having a field day right now. And what's crazy is, like, you can start just running it down as Wolverine when you're ahead. You can just be like, you know what, bro? F it. No way he gets away with this. No way. He does. Dude, 100 Thieves is tilted. Doors and corners, kid! There was a whole show on Sci-Fi about that. Doors and corners!
So that's nice. That's a nice pick for Team 100 Thieves as FlyQuest just play around the corner, waiting for energy to come back.
And just for those who didn't notice, you'd see Terra being very patient with the Q there. When you're in a situation like this that you're very close to losing the game, you cannot overcommit your ultimates, because if you do, it's
2.5 minutes to break this. This is a very hard point to break. What they need to do is actually break the environment so they get the smoky fog. That's how you do it on this map. Is you break the environment and then the god will come in and interfere. There it is. So the fog just popped up. It'll make it easier to come on the side. Be good for Wolverine too. Besides Cooper for Fly, who will have the last second with Adios using that human torch as well. Will we be able to find anything in this potentially final fight? And out go the hurricanes and tornadoes for days. Which god's making that shit? The Wakandan gods. There's 3 different elements that Wakandan gods do. There's the lava burst on the first point, there's a smoke on the third point, and then there's like the elevation. It was just Vinny with the drone touching and FlyQuest, bro. 3-0. And how you unlock it is like a little meter at the top of the screen. There's like a little top meter at the top of the screen, and if you break the environment, it fills them up and it enrages the gods, and they do that stuff. FlyQuest's insane, dude. They are probably my favorite to win the tournament right now. I think Nemesis is my favorite to win on the next setup against Sentinels, but we'll see. But I'm gonna go make some salmon chat and make some broccoli. Thank you all for hanging out. during the watch parties, GGs, etc. If you go to twitch.tv/Marvel Rivals, I'll link it. You guys can watch the rest of these matches. If they ever mention they need commentators, tell them to hit me up. There you go. Don't sleep on Sentinels? Yeah, we'll see. Sentinels probably will hold on better than 100 Thieves, but we'll see. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.